So yes, there was empty promises in the end that he'd be coming down to see me in Cornwall, and as a 12-year-old, I'd be so excited to hear that he was coming down, to only experience him not coming down. He did come down a couple times within 6 to 8 years, I think it was. But a lot of the time I remember that I would reach out to him a lot and try and message him and try and go up to see him up country, and it would be always me that would be reaching out to him, and I'd always think to myself as I grew up, when I reached my late teens, that it's not a healthy dynamic for the daughter to be chasing after the father. It's the adult role. The father needs to be coming to me, coming to the daughter, making the effort with the daughter. So as I grew up, I kind of started realising this stuff. But I would still people please, and I'd still have that hope there that I was going to see him. And the hope for me, I learnt as a child, as I grew up, that hope wasn't that good to have. Because every time I hoped, I would always be disappointed from hoping. But I'd still carry on and hope I'd see him. I couldn't, for some reason, I couldn't just stop hoping. It was a deep feeling that I carried all of my life. When he was living with me and my mum in the family, and when he moved out. I do have a brother. He was there too in the household. But yes, it was always the hope. I'd always have that feeling inside me that I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him. He's told me he's coming down, and I'd just be disappointed every time and have a deep sadness. So I grew up hating my dad towards the end of it all and blaming him for so much. The relationships that I got involved in, again, were mirrors to how I was feeling inside me, which I will talk about in another video, the relationships. But briefly here, the relationships, like I said before, they're really toxic relationships. So the experience overall with my dad was mainly neglect. I had some birthdays that he had forgotten or didn't send cards, and I would always be, growing up in school, secondary school mainly, obviously, because I was in secondary when he left. My friends would be celebrating Father's Day, and that would be really hard for me because I couldn't experience that, and I never really knew, and I still don't know now what it's like to have a dad that's there for me and wanting to protect me and look after me and do a lot of fun things with me. I have 2 children of my own now, and he's only seen them once or twice, if that. They don't know much about him. I have spoken to him about my dad, but the relationship with him is not the best, so I talk about him, but I don't bring the negativity side of it in because it's my personal experience with him. But he doesn't bother, and he reaches out every now and then to say hi. But yeah, it's just, my needs are still not being met, and I know as I am an adult now, the father figure doesn't stop when you're a child. It continues all the way through your life. There's no effort from him in that sense. So for a very long time I held that hatred towards him, but as I entered into my spiritual awareness and awakening in from the lockdown, I realised that holding on to this anger is only hurting myself. So, as I said before, I've been to therapy, and one of the things was to write a letter that I wrote to my dad that I would never deliver to him, and then I have a choice to burn it or throw it away. So I sat and I did that. That was the first thing I did. One of the first things that helped me shift within here. I allowed myself to voice everything that I felt in here that I bottled up over the years onto this paper, and because it's not being delivered to him or given to him, I could be really open with myself, connect to my inner child, the child part of me that experienced all these things that I had suppressed down because I didn't know what to do with. All those emotions that I felt over my childhood and even teenagers, and now as an adult, all of it, I just managed to sit down and you don't have to, I got told I didn't have to do it all in one go. Just do it as I feel. So yes, that really helped me because I let go of a lot of the anger that I was holding on to into this, into the writing. And it helped me have a bit of an insight of how I've been carrying myself, the feelings of my inner self, my inner child, my inner teenager, and my adult self. And I managed to really sit with myself. And it was very hard to do at first because I didn't know, I was quite scared. I didn't know what was going to come up, to be honest. And I allowed myself to just take the time I needed to do it. And that really helped me. And I decided to burn it in the end. I released a lot of energy then. That was an energy releasing. Now, as I've gone through my spiritual awakening, I see my dad as a person that was in my life for a reason, in the sense of how he treated me was put there to show me how he was inside him, but also to show me in this lifetime about how I had lack of self-respect, a lack of self-love for myself, and I believe we were contracted before we came down. His role was to show me that my soul needed to grow in this human life over lifetimes. In this lifetime, he was to show me that my soul needed to grow in the sense of how I love myself, how I view myself, and how I need to respect myself more. And unfortunately, I had to learn that through his actions of neglect, because he was mirroring to me that I was neglecting myself. I was abandoning myself. As I said, I learned. As I grew up, I learnt to people please, which then reinforced the belief system in a negative way. Because obviously people pleasing isn't healthy, it's not respecting yourself, so therefore I was reinforcing the belief of not respecting myself. So it's taken me a long time to kind of see the mirror of my dad, how he was mirroring to me that I needed to not neglect myself, which I now don't. I've put myself first. I'm listening to myself more now, and I'm standing stronger in myself, in listening to myself every day and what do I need, because now I'm an adult, I can give those needs to myself. It's reparenting, which is taking me a long time, but I'm doing that. And as I entered into my relationships after, my relationships with others, like boyfriends, as I was growing up, they were also mirroring to me through their behaviour. The lack of self-respect, the lack of self-love again. So it's a mirroring process, and some people find it hard to hear that or don't believe that, which is totally okay. Everyone has their own truths, their own beliefs, but it's a mirroring situation. Your relationships, everyone in this lifetime, are mirroring back to you what you feel in here. And my dad was the first one, the first male that I obviously was my, as a child, as my world, along with my mum. He was the first male to mirror to me how I wasn't respecting myself. So I don't hate my dad no more. I've let that go. I've accepted that our relationship's the way it is because it is for a reason. He has shaped a lot of my life, and there's a part of me, that is thankful for him to show me, because now I do have a lot of self-respect for myself, and now I do love myself, and this is why I'm doing these videos, to voice this. It's to raise awareness of the mirror, raise awareness of the situations that we have in life are very uncomfortable, and they can be have a negative impact on you. However, they're there to mirror stuff back to you,